Hey, this is your girl Forever Trina coming back at you with another Married at First Sight review. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. And if you are back for a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, whatever time, welcome back, fam. Appreciate the love. Before we get started, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that when I drop a new video, you'll be the first to know. All right, let's get into it. So again, this is season 14, episode 9, entitled, Is Love on the Table? So we're going to start with Noy and Steve. I have the least amount about them this time. So we'll just start with them and we'll go from there. So Noy and Steve, it started out with a scavenger hunt. Noy planned a little scavenger hunt for him, which was really sweet. It was really cute. I like that. I like the thoughtfulness behind that. She was given little clues, I guess, from things that have happened, I guess, at the honeymoon and so far. And so he was going to different places in the park and then finally found her. So that was really cute. In my head, I was just like, I guess she over the noodle situation because, yeah, that was a big deal last week. So, but it was really cute. I guess this is her way of making up for it and showing him that, hey, I do care about you. And here's how I'm going to show it. So I really do like the effort she put into that. One of the next scenes for them was a question game. So they went around to all the different couples and placed something outside their door. It's always like a mysterious knock and they're like, who is it? You know who it is. Them experts. If you ain't expecting nobody, you know who it is. So the expert left a little, I think, bowl or something basically with some questions so they can get to know each other a little bit better. So the questions were basically, have you ever loved anyone and what does it take for you to fall in love? So they were doing that question game. And Steve mentioned he had 5 serious relationships in life. And in his opinion, he's been in love 5 different times. So Noy, she was listening, but then it seemed like she was kind of side-eyeing him like, so 5 relationships and you loved all 5, but you can't love me? You can't love one, the one that you married to? That was going on in her head. She was just like real skeptical. And I'm just like, Noy, leave that man alone. Let him love on his own terms. Let him love at his own time. Leave him. Let him be. Let him sit over there. And when he decides he want to say he love you, let it go. Let it go, boo. You just getting out of the noodle situation. Noodlegate just happened. Let him breathe. So that was kind of funny. Noy was kind of like, So that was that little thing. I don't think I got anything else out of that little situation. I just basically, my notes were, let the man breathe, get a man some time. He still got PTSD over the noodles. He may never eat noodles again in his life. Leave him alone. Next scene for them was a beach picnic. It was really cute. It was their 3-week anniversary. And so he said it, y'all. See? Either he got tired of Noy talking about it or he actually really meant it. He seems like a man who's very methodical about the things that he does, getting or not getting a job. He's very serious and he's very intentional in the things that he does and says. So I don't feel like he just said it to say it because Noy kind of kept hinting at, I need you to say I love you. But he said, I love you. And I was just like, oh, that's so sweet. That's so cute. 3 weeks in and you love each other. So I'm happy for Noy. I'm happy for them. I hope it work out. In my opinion, it's kind of early to say I love you. That's just me. But I'm not in their situation. I am not in their shoes. This is a very accelerated process. So you going to say I love you way quicker than I would ever say it to an individual that I am dating. But again, that's dating. This is marriage. So it was very nice that he took her there on their 3-month anniversary because I think he said I think it was the 3rd day when they had the picnic and he was like, yeah, I don't love you. I like you, but I don't love you. So he wanted to kind of replay that and have a picnic, and it was their 3rd week. So it's nice that he put that thought into it as well, to give her that. So I know, yeah, they probably get it in that night. They probably been getting it in, but anyway, that night's gonna be spectacular. So that's all I have for Noy and Steve. No drama for them. kudos there, Noodlegate. We good. So yeah, they were able to move on from that, so that's pretty good. So next is Lindsay and Mark. So they start off the scene. Lindsay was really short. Mark is trying to have conversation, ask different, just very surface level questions. And she's just like, yeah, no, yeah. And I'm just like, Lindsay, don't be that way. Give that man a little bit more. But she in her feelings, and it is what it is. So yeah, he's trying to make conversation. She's being super short. They were sitting there at dinner. It was a really awkward dinner. It was silent. All you really hear is the silverware clanking against the doggone plates and whatever. And so Mark again trying to make conversation. They just don't see eye to eye. Like, she really feels she's done everything for him, and he's basically throwing that back in her face. Like, he's not acknowledging, like, hey, I was down for you. I put the hazmat suit on for you. I was supporting you with the bugs. I was supporting you with your mom and your grandmother. How in the world are you gonna just turn me down like that? But that's her point of view. And so to get him backing off is like, it's a kind of a punch in the face to her, but then she also has to see his side. She's a lot. Like, I keep repeating the same thing over and over again, and I'm sure people repeat the same thing over and over again to her. She's a lot. So that her delivery and her just aggressiveness it just needs to be toned down. Like, again, I feel she does things from a good place, but the way it comes out sometimes can really put people off, and it's definitely pushing Mark away. So she doesn't quite see that. All she sees is her side, and Mark is trying to get, and I'm proud of Mark for articulating. It took him a while because she kept cutting him off. It's just like, Lindsay, let him talk. Don't keep cutting him off. Let the man talk. So I do feel that he got out everything he needed to get out to try to express where he was coming from. If she was listening, I don't know. She probably won't listen. But at least he was able to get it out and verbalize it, articulate it. So I'm happy for Mark, because usually he just be like, I'm tired. You know what? I got nothing to say. And so I get it. So I'm glad he was able to like stand his ground and like, no, this is how I feel. And you're going to hear this. So that part is like, kudos to you, Mark, for doing that. So again, I don't think they see the eye to eye. They're just, Lindsay is just far off. She's a little bit delusional in her thought process of how she feels. Everyone has a right to feel the way they feel, but she needs to be a little bit more open-minded to see where Mark is coming from, and see how her actions have pushed him away. I do realize that in relationship, it takes two. Sometimes it's one more than the other doing the pushing away or being the jerk or whatever. But at the end of the day, it takes two. So he's contributing to it. She's contributing to it. She's just contributing a whole lot more to it. And so she has to realize her contribution to what has happened. So they were asking I don't know if they were asking the different questions. No. Lindsay just said out of the blue after they were kind of going back and forth. She was like, what do you like about me? I know Mark was like, shoot, damn, you want to ask this question? I don't like a lot about you. And now I got to sit here and dig out of my tail what I like about you because you're my wife. And I don't want to turn you all the way off. What can I say? So he did come up with some stuff to say. He said, you have a loving personality, deep inside of you. She was just like, that ain't no compliment. She was like, I said that when we was at the wedding. It's down there. It just, just the way you show it is, but the love and care is down there. So he didn't say deep that many times, but that's how I felt. That's how it came out to me. But he was just like, you do great things, but it's just really the way she does them. And then even the part, like, when you do something for someone and then say later on they don't reciprocate or they make you mad, and then you throw in their face what you did for them. that ain't the way you do stuff for people. When you do something for someone, you should expect nothing in return. It is nice for it to be reciprocated, but to expect for it to be reciprocated, and then when it's not, throw it in their face and have a laundry list of I did this, I did this, I did this, what did you do? That ain't how you do it. Because in that case, it's just like, don't do nothing for me. I'm good. Don't do nothing for me. And I know that's probably how Mark felt. He was like, I could have went in there with a hazmat suit by myself. I didn't want you to see my place no way, and I didn't want the world to see my place no way. So yeah, we could have canceled all of that if it's gonna be thrown back in my face. So that's the thing. Like, I think Lindsay, she will keep a bag of stuff that this is what I did. I'm carrying my bag of honor on my shoulder, and as soon as you show me disrespect in her eyes, you push me away, you hurt me, because it's all coming from a hurt place, I'm going to dig into my bag of tricks and show you all the stuff I did for you, and show me what you've done for me, but push me away. So she's forever gonna play the victim. Still don't know about them, if they gonna make it. They ended on good terms. I think the next thing for them was they went to no, the next thing I was going to say, the fun part, that was the last thing they did, but they went to a sushi spot. Mark was trying to do something nice for her. He knows that she likes sushi, so he took her to that spot. Lindsay being Lindsay was like, oh, you about to try this. You about to try this on the menu. And Mark was like, no. This is about you, boo. This is about you. It ain't about me. I'm really just here. I don't want to eat nothing. And I feel Mark, because I'm not a seafood lover. And I know I probably lost about all the seafood lovers out there, but that's just not me. I'll eat fish, specifically salmon. That's about the only fish I'll eat. But I don't do shrimp. I don't do nothing with no shell. I don't do nothing. And I tried it. It's just I don't have a taste for it. Like, I literally get a throw up reflex in my throat. And I just can't stomach it. And I'm not allergic to it. I just don't like it. And I don't like the smell of it. I had a roommate back in the day. She loves some crab legs. And so one day she was trying to keep some crab legs up for me for the store. They on sale. The sale is ended today. So, of course, I got her those. They were frozen. So they weren't cooked just yet. When she cooked them things, they smell up the whole dang house. I just don't like the smell of seafood. Even it was like back in the day I went on a beach trip. Anytime you go to the beach, you know, everybody gonna want to eat seafood. So before we left, everybody want to eat seafood. I was like, I don't like seafood. I'm not about to sit in the seafood restaurant, smell up all this fish. I'll go down the street. I'll go to the gift shop. That's where I'm gonna spend my time, because I'm not excited to spend my time up in here. That's me. So that I feel Mark. Mark was just like, I don't like the way it looked. I don't like the way it smelled. And I'm a texture person too. If it's a specific type of texture, when it enters into I'm not gonna eat it. It gotta look a certain way, gotta smell a certain way, and it can't have a crazy texture. Yes, I'm very picky about how I eat. But Bart, me and Bart probably can hang, because I'd be like, I don't like the way they look. He'd be like, I don't like the way they look either. All right, let's leave. Let's go to something more familiar. I'm not the experimental type of chick. Or if it's something that tastes good, you're gonna have to tell me it's chicken. That's the only way. Don't tell me it's lamb or it's goat or any other animal besides a chicken or a cow, because I'm not gonna eat it. So yeah, Mark wasn't feeling it. He took it there it was for her. But of course she's just like, you gonna eat this, and she's forcing it. So I don't like the forcing. Like, don't force me to eat nothing. If I don't want to eat it, I don't want to eat it. If I don't want to try, I don't want to try. I don't want to be experimental. That's just not who I am. Let me be me. So Mark was a very good sport. I do like he was kind of trying to try it, but at the end of the day, he was like, this ain't what I eat, and that should be okay. But Lindsay's gonna be Lindsay. Lindsay seems like that person where she's just like, I've traveled the world, I've tasted all these different foods, I'm so cultured and so just, worldly. I need to teach you, Mark. I need to get you out of your shell. He don't want to get out of his shell. How old the man? He like 30 something. I don't know, close to 40. I'm not sure how old the man is, but he's a man. If he don't want to eat it, he don't want to eat it. Let him do it. Let him do what he gonna do. So so I get, wanting to, like, when you meet someone, say they haven't traveled, want to introduce them to traveling, but don't act like you're that guru. Like, I'm the one to show you. I'm gonna get you out there and I'm gonna teach you something. Like, you're the teacher and they're the student. It's just like, No, you guys are partners. I want to share my experiences with you. Yes. Come at it from that angle, but I'm going to teach you the world. I'm going to show you the world type of attitude. Sit down somewhere. So yeah, that's Lindsay, but Lindsay gonna be Lindsay. She gonna Lindsay forever for the rest of her life. The next thing that that they did was the fun park. So she took him to a fun park. She knew that he liked baseball because when they went to clean out his apartment, he had like a big case of baseballs from childhood, and she was just like, "Why you need that?" He was like, "Cause I like it." And she was like, "Does it bring joy to you?" "Yeah, it's from my childhood." Again, leave that man alone. So it was a little fun park. They did baseball. They did this little floaty water squirting thingies, go-karts, and then yeah, I think that was it. So it was a nice little date. They both agreed that, hey, this is a day or two of happiness. I don't know what the future holds, but right now, we good. So that they ended on a high note. So we're gonna go with that. The only other thing I did have about that was Lindsay, because like the way he was like hitting the ball and like he had so much power to it, she was just like, he's hitting it with so much power. Wish he hit me with so much power. I'm like, Lindsay, maybe if you calm down a little bit, he would desire to hit you with so much power. Okay, so moving right along, our next couple, Jasmina and Michael. So they had a picnic in the park, and Michael planned the picnic, and he brought some gifts for Mr. Feeney. So Mr. Feeney is the dog. We're starting to see Mr. Feeney everywhere. She must didn't find that little dog at daycare that she said she was gonna find. Anyway, they won't no doggy daycare. So Mr. Feeney was there, and so basically he's trying to win over Mr. Feeney, since Jasmina, that's like her heart. So he brought Mr. Feeney some gifts, so that was really cute. And then they started talking. I forgot what question that Michael asked her. I think he was basically asking, how should I come at you? How should I speak if we're in a bad place or there's a place of contention or something like that? How should I best be able to articulate within that moment? And the only thing I wrote, I actually literally wrote, Jasmina. Your face, boo. Your face. Fix your face. Like, she just always has this face, and she's always talking about your tone is off. Like right now, Michael, your tone is off. Don't get so excited. He was like, I'm not getting excited. I'm talking with passion. And so if that is what she calls aggression, like being aggressive, like him actually just trying to get his point across, I didn't see anything wrong with that. I saw him just trying to get his point across and being serious. It was a different tone, but I can tell, I think he was getting irritated because it seemed like she kept cutting him off. And I don't even know if it was cutting him off, but she wasn't really letting him get it all out, and she was coming at him with a tone. So when someone comes at you with a tone, it's natural. It's almost human nature for you to come back at them with a tone. So she's always talking about this tone, and I'm like, Jasmina, you kind of got that tone that you talking about. So watch your tone. How about that? So I was just like, Jasmina, calm it down just a little bit. Because I do agree with Michael. It's he brought up the fact that she's always just like, this is basic communication. You should already know this. And I will say, there are some things you're just like, you should just come to the table. At this age in your life, you should know how to have a basic conversation with someone. You should know how to communicate with a person. But this is a husband-wife situation. You're married, you're newlyweds. It is totally different. And then you also come from different backgrounds. So your communication styles are going to be different. So you do need to get on one accord in regards to that. So I get what Michael was saying. Like, you keep saying this is basic communication. I am trying to ask you how I can better communicate. Well, he already expressed, I ain't the best communicator. So now he's actually asking you, how can I better communicate with you so that it's better received from you? So I appreciate that about Michael. Like, I really do. Like, I'm not saying I'm like Team Michael just yet, but I appreciate the fact he is trying, and he's trying to ask Jasmina, how can I best fit into what you see as good communications to see just how to the better he's trying. That's all I got to say. The boy is trying. Jasmina, give him a break. My gosh, she is really getting on my nerves. But the next scene for them was the question game. So again, the question, everybody had the same question. Have you ever fell in love? How long does it take you to fall in love? So they started off, before the game started, Michael did mention that was his brother's anniversary. His brother, the passing of his brother, his anniversary. So that was kind of sad. That was kind of touching to him. He said he went to his grave, and Jasmine was like, if I'd known, I would have went with you, all that. So that was sweet that she offered that up. But the question about what makes you fall in love, Michael was like vulnerability, and that's something he's trying to do, to be more vulnerable. He said when he got into this process, he knew he wasn't really open, and so that was one thing he was trying to make it a point to do. Jasmina didn't really believe him. In her confessional, she was just like, and you can see it in her face. She was just like, that face of, if I could get a screenshot of that doggone face, that face of hers, I just be like, girl, my gosh, get up out of there. So she was just like, I don't really believe him because I don't believe he's being vulnerable. He's not open with me. She's just so quick to shoot him down. Again, give him a chance. She's not giving him the opportunity to be that better person. She's really not. She's stuck. I don't even know how to describe where she is, but I don't know. There's a blocker on her side. I don't know if she's disgusted by him or she's over him, or I don't know what it is, but she's not connecting. She's not connecting at all. He's trying. He said, I'm trying to be more vulnerable. And she's like, in her head, where? He's trying, boo. Let him try. So yeah, Jasmina shoots him down at every chance she can get. But whatever. So the last scene with them was Jasmina's gym. It was so cute. Just the gym was spelled with a J. So she set up a little gym, since she knows he enjoys the gym. Clearly, he's a personal trainer. Set it up in the apartment. So that was really sweet. And she had different stations based on the different issues that they've had in their relationship. So like communication, vulnerability and interruption. So they would go to each station and do an exercise. She don't go to the gym. I'm just like, she looked a hot mess. She ain't never stepped foot. I don't even know if she went to gym class, because she just didn't seem like she knew how to do anything. And Michael was just like, yeah, I would never hire her as a personal trainer, because that's like his world, his realm. And so I do appreciate her trying and so doing something for him. I'm sure the producers probably told her to do something for him and gave her some ideas, because I honestly can't think of her doing all that by herself, but that's just me. That's how I feel. But anyway, they did it. And then they had a little vulnerable moment. They had a little vulnerability conversation. Michael talked about how he lost his brother, his mother, his dad, I think, and his grandmother. He got a little teary-eyed, and I was just like, oh, poor thing. Like, he had a lot of I remember them mentioning the loss that he experienced, but he had a lot of loss. When you think about it and you sit back, and it seemed like, I think he said like every couple of years or every 4 years, he was losing someone. So eventually he just kind of shut down that emotion. And that was the only way he was able to cope, which I get. At some point you do have to pull that out and deal with it. Hopefully he in counseling, or will be in counseling soon, because we cannot hold those things like that type of grief inside, because it will eat you alive. That's just that's free. Just my little side note. But as children, we're only able to really cope with a small amount of things. So when we are introduced to trauma like that, I do feel, and I know it's put in a little box and it's kind of put to the side so that you can deal with life. So with him having that many losses, especially that one that's so young, and putting it in that box, putting it aside so that he can survive, and then the next piece of trauma happened, the next piece of trauma. He's putting all these things, all these emotions, all these feelings, all this grief in this little itty bitty box. Well, probably, I don't know if it's an itty bitty box, but it's in a box. And he's moving on with life, but he's still moving on with those undealt with emotions. So at some point he's going to have to deal with it. You can see that he's still very emotion filled about his brother's death. I think he said he was 5. So it's very close to his heart. It's something, I'm not saying you ever get over a brother or a sibling or a mother or father passing, but you can tell it's still very, very, very resonant in him today. So I do feel for him in that way, and I just hope he gets a counselor, because it's like he's closed off his emotions in some way, and I think that may prevent him from fully blossoming in a relationship and fully being vulnerable and fully being present and fully being able to offer his emotions up to his wife. Just my opinion. I ain't no doctor, I ain't no counselor, but that's just how I feel. So hopefully he can heal from that at some point, and I'm sure at some point he will. But maybe this would help. Maybe this, whether it works out for them or not, I think for all the couples, all of them, and every episode or every season, people have said that they were just like, if nothing else, I've grown from this experience. So if nothing else, Michael would have grown from this experience, and maybe when he watches it over and he's able to critique himself in these different scenarios, that he'll become a better person. So I think every single one of them will be able to take something away, even if it's not a spouse. They can take something away from the situation. So that was Michael and Jasmina. Right, so the girls outing, so they did the mani-pedi together, and in their conversation, Lindsay had mentioned a post. I think Noy posted something and it said, you marry their trauma and their inner child. I thought that was really deep and very true. When you marry someone, you marry everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I was actually watching, don't judge me, y'all, a Madea movie. It's a new one out on Netflix called Madea Homecoming, I think. And so I watched it last weekend. And one of the things, you know, she be dropping nuggets throughout the movie. They be some really life-changing types of things that she says sometimes. And so this one thing that she said to a lady and another character in the movie was, be prepared to say I do several times. And so I didn't get it at first. I was like, what? So she gonna say I do, and then she gonna get a divorce and say I do again, and she gonna get another divorce. So basically you don't believe in her, like she ain't gonna marry him and that be it. But what she was saying was, you don't just marry the guy at the altar or that spouse at the altar. You're marrying that person that day, but then you're also marrying the person after the I do, the person 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, because as different seasons come and go, people change, they evolve. So that person is the person you met, and the person you marry is not going to be the same person 20 years later. So she was basically saying, be prepared to say I do over and over again, because you're going to be meeting a different person over and over again. It's kind of scary though. It's very scary, but it's very true. And so I did like that quote, because you're marrying all of them, and that trauma piece is serious, because people, you don't realize how much trauma people go through. I think you really see it in relationships, but mostly marriage. One of my girlfriends said, marriage is a mirror. You're putting up a mirror to yourself, and you're seeing things about yourself that you've never seen before. Like, you think you got it all together, and a mirror is literally in your face. But then your spouse is also seeing a mirror of themselves too, and they're just like, oh shoot, I got issues. So marriage is literally a mirror. And again, like with Michael, when you have undealt with trauma, it's gonna come up in a relationship all the time. But like I said, I really like that quote, and I do really like the when Madea in that movie said the thing about be prepared to say I do multiple times, because that's very true as well. So Jasmina, I think in one of her confessionals, I don't know what specifically this was referring to, but Jasmina was just saying she was really hopeful about her and Michael, and that hopefully her being hopeful would I don't know, I can't remember exactly what she said, but would help him. He would see that, and it would help him be hopeful as well, something like that. But anyway, I was just like, you hopeful, Jasmina? You hopeful? Did I miss the hopeful episode? I don't remember seeing it. Maybe I need to go back and look for it, because I didn't see that. I don't feel that you're hopeful at all, but if that's what you say, That's what we'll go with. But that's all I have about their little get together. I did like the fact that even though Katina was like, because I think before all the ladies got there, it was Katina and Jasmina. And so Jasmine was just like, do you talk to any of the other ladies? And Katina was like, well, yeah, Noy, she DMs me from time to time. And I don't I don't mess with Lindsay like that. She was like, yeah, I know. But I like the fact that they had a civilized get together. Like they were there. They were able to converse. Katina didn't get an attitude with Lindsay. Lindsay didn't pop off. So it was actually a really good meeting. I was like, okay, ladies, okay, let's be classy together. I appreciate that. So the next they showed the scene. They were kind of going back and forth, but I separated them, of course. They had the guys outing. They did some archery type of thing. So it was a competitive event between the guys. So it was good to kind of see them get out there, masculinity and all that, testosterone or whatever. And Mark, Mark makes me laugh so much. He was like, I don't know what the producers asked him, but he was just like, I mean, it's not like I don't want to be away from my wife like 365, 24/7. But I mean, I do want to be away from my wife 365. He ain't say that, but that's what I heard him say. Like, honestly, if I can be away from her 365, 24/7, I'd be good. But he was just like, he just liked to be able to get with the guys and just kind of unwind and hang out. And so you could tell that they all probably just needed that. So it was good to see them get together and hang out in that way. But when they finally sat down, so they were having a conversation. Most of the conversation was like on O, and he's bothering me now. He's starting to. I'm not saying this is the first time he's bothering me, but he really, like, a lot of times, like during this episode, I was just like, I didn't even have words for him. I couldn't think of how I felt about him. I had to let it sink in and marinate and process the words that he was saying. But yeah, let me just go down and we gonna get into it with him. So he was kind of going through his experience with Katina, and he's feeling like he's babying her. He was like, she doesn't put in effort. She doesn't have life skills. He doesn't go to bed with the house dirty. She shouldn't either. And if this wasn't a marriage, he would have walked away. I was like, what? Because she is not this expectation of a wife that you have in your head, because she doesn't cook and clean like you would like her to. She's not a good wife. Like, I really need people before you get married. For one thing, like I said in the past review, throw all that away. All your expectations, throw it away, because it is never like what you expect. And when you bring expectations like that to the table, you're boxing that person in, and you're going to be disappointed. The thing, Katina seems like she will, which bothers me just a little bit, she will bend over backward for this man. She literally said, I don't like to cook, but I will cook for you. And apparently she don't like to clean either, according to O. But I really feel, because she wants to make this work, that she might not do it to his level, but she will do it, and she is willing. But the thing I don't like about Olajuwon is, like, he is telling her what to do. You need to cook. You need to clean. No, boo-boo. That needs to be a conversation. What are we as a household going to do? What are we going to agree on to do as a couple? How are we going to clean? How are we going to cook? This needs to be a conversation. If that is his expectation of a wife, I am not knocking him for that, but he does not need to throw that on her and make her feel bad, because that's not what she does. She was a single female before you. She didn't cook. She probably didn't clean either. She might have had a housekeeper. Honestly, when I was single, I had a housekeeper because I had a full life. I did all these other things. I had a life coach, and I was just like, man, I just don't have time to be washing dishes and washing clothes and cleaning the house. She was like, get a housekeeper. She actually recommended her housekeeper. I was like, okay, word. And so, Miss Maria came over like every other week. Actually, it was like once a month and clean my house. And at first I felt bad, but I was just like, I'm a single person. I can't do all this for myself. No, I couldn't. I was buying time back in my day because I felt like the time wasted, yes, I said wasted, on cleaning and doing this other stuff. There were other things that I wanted to do and participate in. And so that's what I chose to do. I don't know Katina's situation, but when you get married, everything needs to be a conversation. It is not a you should do this and you should do that. Like, y'all even need to talk about what are our roles. Are we going to have the traditional gender roles? If you want me up in the kitchen cooking and you want me cleaning the house for you, are you bringing home all the money, boo? I make 6 figures. Are you bringing home 6 figures? Because I have a certain level of life that I lead and live by myself. Can you sustain me while I cook your food and clean your drawers? Can we do that? Then we could talk. Then we can have a conversation. But if we're not having that conversation, then we don't need to have this conversation. It needs to be a 2-sided conversation. It can't be just you cook. This is not caveman time. This is not. This is not back in the day when our grandparents, the man went out and the wife was home taking care of the kids and taking care of the house. It is not like that nowadays. So again, those needs to be conversations you had. I don't like when men come in and automatically assume for you to be wife, you need to cook. Shoot, it's a bunch of females out here know to cook and they ain't no wife. They ain't got no man. So that theory is off considerably. So it's that bothers me, and I think that's a trigger for me. So yeah, I don't like the way he belittles her and sees this as a negative, like she's not up to par. And I'm like, bro, you 2 steps out of the doggone strip club. How you gonna tell her that she ain't a wife? Bruh, we still debating on whether you a husband material. So it's just, he's all type. And then the guys, it seemed like they were eating it up. And Michael was like, I feel so bad for him. I just feel him like he heard about this. And I was like, you eating the OJ juice, the Olajuwon juice? Really? Really, Michael? You stay out of it. You shut up. You just stay out. So it just seemed like everybody was just like, oh, Olajuwon. I'm like, no, let's not feel bad for him. Not at all. Let's be on Katina's side. But yeah, I was not feeling him in that situation. I also had a note about, one, he being a doggone drama queen, and then unspoken expectations. If this is expectations, there were some things he did speak, like some of his expectations, but I think a lot are still unspoken. And even further than that, again, have a freaking conversation with the chick, and y'all need to sit down together and agree on it. It's not just you telling her what to do. It's you deciding together what y'all going to do and how y'all going to move forward in your household. And so I'm just not down for him. He's being a dictator. I don't like it. I don't like. But yeah, that was their little thing. So now I'm going to go up to Katina and Olajuwon since I'm already on O. We're going to go back to O and continue this discussion. So Katina and Olajuwon. Y'all, Olajuwon was yelling at Katina. Why you yelling at my girl? I don't like that. But like, he has such high expectations. Again, this word expectations. He has very high expectations. He was talking about how, like, when they had the get together, I think he wanted to clean up immediately afterwards. Apparently, either she was tired or what, I don't know what the deal was. But she was like, I cleaned half the floor. And so he basically was like, you went to sleep and who cleaned up? Who cleaned up for you? Who cleaned up for me? We had guests over. You just cleaned the house. You ain't clean for me. That wasn't my job to clean. You don't like to go to bed with a dirty house. So that is a pet peeve of yours. One of when I did premarital, me and my husband did premarital counseling, one of the things they were saying was, like, she was telling us how her husband doesn't like dishes in the sink. Like, you cannot put a dish in the sink. As soon as it hit the sink, you need to be washing it. And so her and the kids, they'd be like, oh my God, daddy coming home, make sure you wash all the dishes. And like, because he would really like freak out about that. And so she was just like, but that was his pet peeve. She was like, that was his pet to pet. She was like, don't put that on me. And so that's how I felt. That's kind of rung in my ears when Olajuwon was like, I cleaned the floor for you. Nah, bro, you didn't do that. You did that for you because you don't like it dirty. Again, I don't know how she lives. Apparently, she's just like, I will get this in the morning because right now I'm sleepy. So you want to clean the floor while I go to sleep? Go ahead, but don't put that on me. Don't put that on me like you did me a favor. No, it's our house and you decided to clean it. And I also think, there's times when the husband is on and the wife is off. There's time when the wife is on and the husband is off. And there's sometimes when you're both on. So sometimes you're not always going to be at the same level at the same time. So he's in a cleaning mood. She's not. She may be in a cleaning mood. He's not. There may be time when they're both in a cleaning mood. Again, you can't expect someone to do everything that you want to do when you want to do it at the time that you want them to do it. It doesn't work like that. Oh, hear me? It don't work like that. So that just bothered me that he was trying to push his stuff on her. And I don't know that. And that yelling, I don't like that. And I think just from something she said, I think she was verbally abused in the past. So this may be triggering for her as well. She's taking it really well. And when I say really well, it's not in a good way. I'm saying it as in she's taking it, but I don't think she should be. I don't think she should be accepting that. There should be a something in her that is just like, no, this is not healthy, and I'm not going to allow you to speak to me this way. This is what we're not going to do, because he's borderline verbally abusive to her. So, yeah. Not really liking you right now, Olajuwon. My eyes will be on you, and producers and experts. I need y'all to be, we don't do verbal abuse. No, we don't. So I hope y'all picking up on this and y'all step in, because this is not cool at all. So the only other thing I have for them, when they did the question game, one thing I put down, I was just like, was he drunk? He just seemed kind of, I don't know, he kind of seemed spaced out. He was just kind of, I don't know if he was swaying back and forth or something. He just seemed really spacey. And so I was just like, bro, you drunk? But one thing Katina said was, which I felt bad for. Like, again, she was in an abusive relationship, and so she was saying that the things, like when she would cry in that relationship, the guy would basically say, stop being a B. And so from that situation, she trained herself not to cry. That is very sad. That is very sad. So she's definitely experienced some hardships and some trauma and some heartbreak in past relationships. And I don't think O is helping at all. Like, even from the beginning, I was just like, she said she been cheated on in like every relationship, and then y'all gonna set her up with the ex-player. You thought that was a good idea? No. So I'm really feeling for Katina. When she said she taught herself not to cry, she cried in this doggone episode. She cried a couple of times. She gonna cry next week too. So, yeah, get your cry on, girl. I don't think there's nothing wrong with crying. I think it's a great release. And it helps you not to bottle things up and hold things in, because that can cause other health issues. So cry, baby, cry. So yeah, Katina was talking about that. And then I think the question came out. Yeah, the same question about the love. Like, have you ever been in love? Do you see yourself? What does it take to be in love or whatever? So basically, O was just like, nope, don't love you. Nope, it's not on the table. I like you, but I don't love you. It was just the way he said it. It was just like, you didn't have to say it like that. You can be like, I mean, every other person said it in a very polite and respectful way. Like, I can see us getting there one day, maybe, potentially. I see that there's potential there, but in this moment, still feeling things out. But just to outright be like, love is not on the table. It was just really rude and disrespectful, and I didn't like it. And then, Katina was like, she would try, and this is what I was talking about. She said she would try to be more open and less guarded and cook so that Olajuwon would, I guess, feel like he wants her and sees her as a wife and wants to love her or be in love with her. It's okay to want to cook for your man. It's okay to want to be more open and vulnerable for your spouse. But to do it so that they will love you, I don't like that. That to me is very unhealthy. And so that, just that statement alone, I'm like, Katina, baby girl, I don't like that for you. I don't, just this episode, I don't think he's not good for her. From what she went through in her past, he is not good for her. And I need somebody to throat punch him, because he need to, the words that are coming out of his mouth, they're very insensitive. And yeah, I need somebody to check him, like, really good. Because he thinks he's like the pinnacle of a husband. I'm just like, but you're not. But you're going to pick apart this young lady. She is trying. She is in this. It seems like she's super loyal and she will do for you, but you're picking her apart and you're making her feel like she's nothing. Don't like it, Olajuwon. Don't like it at all. So that was that scene. I just don't like to see Katina beating herself up over what Olajuwon, I said Olajuwon, I put his name in quotes, what Olajuwon deems as a standard for being a wife. I don't like that. So I think the last thing for them, they were at dinner. Again, he's talking to her like she's a child. He was like, I don't want to tell her what to do. She just needs to know how to do it on her own. I hate that food just keeps coming up as an issue. Like, get over it. There is so many food preparation places out there that you can subscribe to. And yeah, and then I'm sure you pass some fast food restaurants and even some nice, sit down restaurants on your way home that you can call in and pick up on your way to the crib. So your food being that big thing for him, another trigger for me, is bothering me that it keeps coming up. And how he's saying because of that, she's not ready for marriage. I'm like, bruh, again, you 2 seconds from just getting out of the strip club. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your husbandly duties and how you not ready. Can we go there? So I don't like the way he belittles her. He talks over her. I don't like that either. The comment he made about, if you don't want to cook, you gonna clean. He's on my Alyssa list. I said I wasn't gonna say that name no more. He on that girl list with me. Like, they are right now neck and neck with I don't like you. The words that are coming out of your mouth are literally disgusting me. And you're becoming a disgusted person to me at this point. So, yeah. He just has these caveman views. And just the stuff that he says, like, I gotta be the one to keep you grounded. I gotta be the one to tell you what to do. Again, his words are demeaning. They're hurtful. They're insensitive. And they're just not nice. So I don't really have anything else to say about Olajuwon. Y'all chime in on how y'all felt about him this episode. Yeah, that's all I have for him. And that is it. Those were the 4 couples, because we are down 1 couple. So I appreciate you all listening to my review. Come back next week for episode 10. All right. Thanks again. Bye.